Maybe if, depending on what shoes you're wearing for the track workout, you might want to change shoes. I don't know. But ideally, you just go like right from the track right to the hill. There we go. Getting back from this run, all right? And I went upstairs and I was talking to True Love for maybe 10 minutes, just checking in. And you know, you're walking around the kitchen, you sit down for 3 minutes, you just start to tighten up, okay? So part of this treadmill, I didn't even think of this, the cool down as well. I mentioned last week, warm up if it's cold out, which it is cold out today, and cooling down as part of the marathon preparation for Rotterdam. So using this, walking around, I did 13 miles today, 7 minutes a mile, feeling pretty good about it. And I then did some diagonals out on the grass soccer fields. But then doing the cool down before hopping on all the good stuff right over here. All right, to foam roll, get out the slant board, all of that. Let's go. Come on now. Cheers, everybody. How we doing out there? Okay, I feel much better. And now that I have a calendar to write down the workouts, you better believe it. Also jotting down some notes on my whiteboard here, just some reminders for Rotterdam. Okay, you can notice there on the top, sleep. Sleep is critical. That's where the adaptation happens, where you actually get to absorb your training. And so that's why it's at the top. And also looks like some little ones in the DeMoor house snuck into my office and decided to scribble on my Rotterdam Marathon mileage and volume chart. So we'll have to come back to that in a minute. But thankfully now we do have it in electronic form. You know who you are who helped me put that together. So here we go. Diving into intensity, when to incorporate intensity into your marathon training block. And I'm not saying this is the only way to do it. This is how I'm going to do it for Rotterdam as I continue to tinker with and figure out ways to run faster, to run, I think I've shared with me already, is to run 2:17:30, okay? Which is that goal race pace of 3:14 per kilometer, all right? So here we go. Where to begin, actually? Oh yeah, let's start here. Strava. Love Strava. Let's connect and hang out there, share some workouts with each other. But there's a lot of comments on my runs, which I appreciate. I cannot reply to all the comments, but the ones, I did reply to one about 10 days ago. And basically somebody was just, I don't know if he, I think it was he, was curious as to why I was basically running so slow. I think I was running 8:15 a mile for 10 miles, maybe 12 miles. And I simply replied to this person, what did I say? I said aerobic engine building, 15 weeks to go. Meaning, so this would have been, I think, last week, 15 weeks to go until arriving at the top of the pyramid, fit, fresh, and healthy. What is the top of the pyramid in my training? That is where you're the fittest, you're the freshest, and the healthiest. But that is the starting line of the Verrazano Narrows Bridge, okay, where I felt amazing and I was ready to rock and roll, and that's the only small, tiny, teeny, I had so much fun in New York City. Even jogging slow through the Bronx and jogging slow through Manhattan, I still had fun getting to experiment the entire training block. But, okay, so I just remembered something. When does the marathon race begin? When does it begin? Mile 20, right? I mean, I really don't like the term, the wall, you hit the wall. I think if you've really put in the work and you've been consistent in turning that doorknob, I don't think you'll hit a wall. I think you'll get tired, but I don't think you'll hit a wall. I really don't. I think it's kind of become a catchphrase in the marathon running world, whereas ideally, it might get hard and you might have to dig more. In fact, you will have to dig more, and that's why I lean more in the direction of the race really begins at mile 20, meaning you got to buckle in, You gotta giddy up, and you gotta, just reminded me of yesterday's vlog, you gotta really focus in on the task at hand, focus on your running form, focus on your hydration, and lean into your long runs. That's why I emphasize long runs so much in my training, is because I am still in the camp of volume. I really am. For the marathon. Not the half marathon. In fact, I did well in Naples, but if I had to go back, if I was training for Gasparilla, which is my tune-up race for Rotterdam, if I was just training for Gasparilla, I would top out at 105, maybe 110 miles for the week. I think I topped out for Naples at about 120, with quite a bit of vertical gain as well. So I'm definitely in the camp of volume, especially for the marathon. Why? To push through that 2-hour barrier when it starts to get hard. You all know it. You know it in your long runs. That's when it starts to hurt. And the more you can push yourself, the more you can train yourself through that 2-hour window, the better off you're going to be on race day. So I'm going to top out at 130 miles for the week in this training block. I'm restraining myself, not going to the 140s because, as you know, and I always want to try to apply this back to your training, okay? So as I'm talking, which I do a lot here in the basement, as I'm talking, try to reflect on your training plan, okay? Try to reflect on your volume. Try to reflect on your annual calendar year, and what are your peak races, and where are you currently at in your training cycle, all right? So for me, here we go. Let's get a little more specific here. Let me just make sure I'm not missing anything. So for Rotterdam, I've already incorporated, if you're paying really close attention over on Strava, I've already incorporated 300-meter repeats, fartlicks, and diagonals across soccer fields. So I did not do this for New York City. So but I will say you might not need that. You might need to lean in the direction of more long runs. I don't need that. I've got the endurance down pretty well. I need the speed. I need the turnover. You guys know that. So I'm being a little preemptive in bringing that turnover earlier in the training block versus past marathon training blocks, which will eventually lead to, okay, so let's get drilled down a little bit even more. And let me just glance over here. This connects to this VO2 max 0.3, and then also 4 to 6 mile tempos 0.6. But for the hard workouts, and again, back to the person on Strava who was just curious as to why I was running so slow, first of all, I have found that I can get in shape really quickly. I think part of that is because of experience. That probably is not going to happen if you're newer to running, let's say less than 4 years, maybe less than 5 years. You might need that full 18-week training block to get ready for a marathon. Whereas for me, I've got to restrain myself because I don't want to arrive at the top of that pyramid in week 15 of an 18-week training block, meaning on, let's just do it for fun here, on March, let's call it March 20th, okay, week 16, I don't want to be at my peak fitness and peak freshness and peak health. I want to be there on week 18. So that's why I'm running slow now. That's why I'm doing aerobic engine building now, and I'm not going and ripping 15 by 1K on the track, which will happen on, okay, I'm just going detail oriented here as much as possible. So that'll happen in week 10. The first hard workout will be in week 10 on February 11th, okay, unless there's a crazy blizzard or something, which it could be a blizzard here, but you never know. So that'll be week 10, so with 8 weeks to go. Still 8 weeks to go. And guess what? My total training block for New York City, what was it? It was 9 to 10 weeks, okay? So you got to be patient. You can't, I personally lean in the direction of not bringing hard intensity. And what is hard intensity? That'll be like I don't know if this will be exactly it, but like a 15 by 1K type of workout on the track. So a hard day on the track. And then we'll do the tune-up race, the Gasparilla in Tampa Bay, Florida. And then March 11th and March 25th or 24th will be the next hard workouts. And that's it. Now I will be doing other workouts in the off weeks, but nothing like to the well, like I'll be doing in February on February 11th, March 11th, and then March 25th. And these are the hard ones. These are the ones where I'll try to recruit some help on the track, somebody to pace me on a bike, and that sort of thing. I hope that helped. Just my approach, my philosophy behind bringing intensity into the marathon training block. Comment of the day goes out to David. Here we go, David. Thank you so much for being a member. He says, this is yesterday, the Christmas vlog. I try to look ahead in my training schedule to see if I can shift some workouts around so that a day with other commitments can be a rest day or an easy day. If not, then I just try to get up early to fit it in before the other obligations. Worst case, I just skip it and don't feel guilty since some things are more important than hitting every workout in a training plan. Good job, David, keeping that balance in our training. He goes on to say, by the way, I love the PJs and slippers for the boys and the whole family. Thank you for sharing your special day with us. I was thinking the same thing as you, Seth, as they were flying that jet drone around the living room. Yes, indeed. Anyway, he goes on. You can go read it in its entirety. Thank you, David. You get the comment of the day, question of the day. What's your approach for introducing and incorporating intensity into your training blocks? So I'll just recap. The 300s on the track are just little introductions. So last week I did 6 by 300 on the track. This week, 8 by 300 on the track, okay? And a little spice to this workout that I'm changing. I gotta mention it. Here we go. 2 ideas for you. The hitchhiker long run. So I'm gonna start here in Denver and run up to Evergreen, okay? So about 3,000 feet of vertical gain over 18 to 20 miles, okay? So that's my hitchhiker long run. That, again, just that new testing, and I realize not everybody lives near mountains, but so I'll need, the reason it's called the hitchhiker long run is because I'm gonna need a ride back to Denver. So if you live in Evergreen, you let me know, all right? I'll be letting you know when it's gonna happen in the training block. And then the second idea is finding a track on a hill or near a hill and doing your workout. For example, let's call it a ladder workout, 400s, 800s, 1K, 800, 400s. And then if the track is on a hill, I'm going to be incorporating, like, let's call it, I haven't done it yet, but I'm going to call it like 8 to 10, 150 to 200 meter sprints up the hill after the work on the track. So not only are you getting the turnover and speed indeed. Oh, the battery died. I'm back. Okay, what I was saying was strength. So you get the strength from the hills as well, doing the hill part of the workout, and it should flow from the track right to the hills, like basically immediately. Maybe depending on what shoes you're wearing for the track workout, you might want to change shoes. I don't know, but ideally you just go like right from the track right to the hill work, okay, to get that strength work in addition to the speed work. And I don't know if the battery died before I asked the question of the day, so I'm going to ask it again just in case. When and how do you incorporate intense workouts into your training? For me, again, I like to build into it. Week 10, it's a way, this is the beginning of week 4, so we still got, 5 to 6 weeks before we really start to dig, because I'm building the engine. I'm getting fit, okay? That's how I approach it. But, and again, I don't know if I already said this, I'm already doing the 300s, baby stuff, 6 by 300 last week, 8 by 300 this week on the track, a little longer fartlek this week, okay? Just a little bit. It's all about incremental steps up that pyramid. And to the point, then you arrive and you're like, okay, 15 by 1K, I got this. This is nothing. I don't know what I'll be doing on February 11th. That's why I'm writing in pencil to see how the body is doing, but I'll be ready for what is to come. Okay, we'll toss it to the Rotterdam Marathon playlist. Rotterdam Marathon playlist right there. This is video 4 to that playlist. Video 4 being added to the playlist right there to hear all the thoughts, and they are a lot. Thanks for tuning in. Seek beauty, work hard, and love each other. See you tomorrow.